This is Shashank and my teammate is Satya. Today we are going to present about the contents of Git. To start with, Git. It is a distributed version control system used to track changes in software code. GitHub. It is a web-based platform that provides hosting for software development projects using this version control system called Git. GitHub allows developers to collaborate, manage, and track changes to their code, making it easier to work in teams. It is widely used for open source projects and serves as central hub for developers to share, contribute, and review their project. In this presentation, we are going to discuss about creating a GitHub account, how to write a description, creating a repository, and publishing it as private or public, posting folders which are part of lab course, viewer restrictions and managing the restrictions, uh, sharing repositories, advantages of Git clone, and linking GitHub to your CV. Creating a GitHub account. First, you need to go to the GitHub website, that is the sign up page, and enter your username, password, and re enter the password. And you would get verification email so you can confirm that and complete the captcha if provided. Here, for example, we took account known as like account which is git test 0000. On logging into your account, you can view a option known as create repository. On clicking that option, it will take you to a page where you can see the repository name blank and the description which is optional, and the options which we have is public and private. While creating the repository, the description blank is optional, but it should be filled so that it helps others to understand the purpose of the repository, and write down. We can write down the key features of the project and the goals of the project, and then click on create repository to create a repository like the official repository as shown. On successfully creating a repository, we can add files into the repository through option known as add file, which is on the top right of the repository. On clicking that option, we'll have two more options: create new file or upload files. Create new file option allows you to create a file in the repository, whereas upload files option allows you to upload uh, files from your system. Once done uploading the files, you can click on commit changes. Then you'll have two options: either to change them directly, that is interfere with the files directly which are in the repository, or either by clicking the second option, which is committing changes by creating a new branch. That is, it will not affect your files which are in the current repository, but it will affect your files after you pull a request. To share a repository, you need to go to files button, which you can find on the top right of your repository, and you need to navigate into the three dots button, which is inside go to files button beside add files. In that, you'll find two options: copy path and copy permalink. Provide them with the URL of your repository. For public repositories, anyone with URL can access it, whereas if your repository is a private one, you'll have to add the collaborators to view your repository, or you can invite collaborators, which is a feature on GitHub, to send an invitation link to specific GitHub user. Git clone. One of a useful command in GitHub used to create a copy of a repository on your system. Cloning a repository gives us the full copy of the repository from the GitHub page, including all versions of every file and folder for the project. On clicking code, which is again on the top right of your repository, you can find a local option in which you'll have the cloning options. We'll have three URL types: HTTPS, SSH, and GitHub CLI. The HTTPS URL has a clone will clone a repository with HTTPS protocol, whereas SSH URL type gives us the secure and efficient cloning process, whereas the GitHub CLI uh, is a GitHub command that allows you to interact with the GitHub repositories and perform various tasks directly from the terminal. To edit your codes, you can use a option known as code space, which is again under the button code, which you will find on the top right of your repository. You can add a code space by clicking on plus symbol. To link your GitHub to your CV, you can create a dedicated section in your CV where you'll showcase your GitHub profile. You can add GitHub URL, that is, you can in the section, in the given provided section, include the URL of your GitHub profile, which should be github.com slash your username. And you can highlight relevant repositories, like if you have projects on GitHub that are relevant to the project you're applying for, or then you can consider listing them in your CV. uh, by linking your GitHub on your CV, you can demonstrate your coding skills and showcase your projects and make it easier to review your work. Here are few examples you can refer. Thank you.